ladies and gentlemen. Today we will talk about Educate Yourself Daily, an inspiring speech on lifelong learning. Imagine waking up every single day with a mind so hungry for knowledge that the world feels like an endless buffet of wisdom. Every conversation, every book, every experience transforming you into the best version of yourself. That, my friends, is the power of educating yourself daily. We live in a world where information moves at the speed of light, and if you're not growing, you're falling behind. But here's the good news. You hold the key to your own evolution. Today, I want to talk about why daily education isn't just an option, it's a necessity. Imagine waking up every morning with a mind so sharp, so hungry for knowledge, that the world around you transforms into a classroom without walls. Every conversation becomes a lesson, every challenge a test, and every piece of information a stepping stone toward your greater self. That, my friends, is the true power of knowledge. It is your greatest superpower. Think about the most successful people you admire, the innovators, the leaders, the game changers. What do they all have in common? They never stop learning. They understand that knowledge isn't just something you acquire in school and then forget about. It's a lifelong pursuit, a daily discipline that separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. Now let's be real. Life gets busy, responsibilities pile up, distractions multiply, and before you know it, days, weeks, even years go by without intentional growth. But here's the harsh truth. If you're not actively learning, you're passively falling behind. The world is evolving at lightning speed. New technologies emerge, industries shift, and opportunities arise for those who are prepared. The question is, will you be ready? The beauty of knowledge is that it doesn't require grand gestures. You don't need to enroll in an Ivy League university or spend thousands on courses, though those can be valuable. Real transformative learning happens in the small, consistent actions. It's the 20 minutes you spend reading a book instead of scrolling through social media. It's the podcast you listen to on your commute that shifts your perspective. It's the documentary you watch that opens your eyes to a new way of thinking. And here's the best part. Knowledge compounds. Just like money grows with interest in a bank, every piece of information you absorb builds upon the last. Over time, you develop a mental library so rich that you can pull from it at any moment. Need to solve a problem? You've read about similar challenges. Facing a tough decision? You've studied the principles of great decision makers. Want to inspire others? You've filled your mind with wisdom that now flows naturally from you. But knowledge isn't just about personal success, it's about freedom. The more you know, the harder it is for anyone to manipulate you, mislead you, or limit you. Knowledge gives you the confidence to speak up, the discernment to choose wisely, and the vision to see opportunities where others see obstacles. It is the ultimate equalizer, because no matter your background, circumstances, or past mistakes, you can always choose to learn, grow, and rewrite your future. So I ask you, what's stopping you? Is it time? You have the same 24 hours as everyone else. Is it resources? There's more free knowledge available today than at any point in human history. Is it motivation? Then remember this. Every expert was once a beginner. Every master was once a student. The only difference between who you are and who you want to be is what you know. Starting today, make a commitment to feed your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. Read voraciously, ask questions relentlessly, seek out mentors, even if they're authors you'll never meet. Let curiosity be your compass, because when you educate yourself daily, you're not just accumulating facts, you're building the life you were meant to live. That, my friends, is how ordinary people become extraordinary. That is how dreams become reality. That is how you unlock your greatest superpower. One lesson, one idea, one day at a time. Let me tell you something profound about how real change happens in our lives. It doesn't come from grand, sweeping gestures made once in a blue moon. No, transformation unfolds in the quiet, consistent moments. The 5 minutes here, the 10 minutes there. where you choose growth over distraction. That's the secret most people miss. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect conditions, the perfect motivation to start learning. But life doesn't work that way. The magic is in starting small and staying steady. Think about how a mighty river is formed. It begins as nothing more than a trickle, tiny drops of water joining together, flowing persistently in the same direction day after day. Over time, that trickle becomes a stream, the stream becomes a current, and before you know it, you're looking at an unstoppable force of nature that can carve canyons out of stone. Your journey of learning works exactly the same way. When you commit to absorbing just a little knowledge each day, you're not just collecting information, you're reshaping the very landscape of your mind. Let's get practical. What does this look like in your daily life? It could be as simple as dedicating your morning coffee time to reading just 10 pages of a thought-provoking book. That's it. No marathon study sessions required. Or perhaps it's listening to an educational podcast during your commute instead of the same old playlist. Maybe it's watching one TED Talk before bed rather than mindlessly binging shows. These actions seem insignificant in isolation, but here's what's extraordinary. When you stack these small efforts day after day, week after week, they create momentum that carries you forward with astonishing force. Consider the math for a moment. If you read just 10 pages a day, that's 300 pages a month, the equivalent of most substantial books. In a year, you've consumed 12 significant works that could completely transform how you think, work, and live. Now imagine applying this same principle to learning a new language, developing a professional skill, or understanding personal finance. The compound effect is staggering. What seems like a drop in the bucket today becomes an ocean of capability over time. But here's where most people go wrong. They underestimate these small efforts because they don't see immediate results. We live in a world addicted to instant gratification, where we expect transformation to happen overnight. Real growth doesn't work that way. When you plant a seed, you don't stand there staring at the ground waiting for a tree to appear. You trust the process. You keep watering, you keep nurturing. And one day, almost without you noticing, what was once a tiny seed becomes something strong enough to weather any storm. This principle applies to every area of self-improvement. Want to become a better communicator? Start by having one meaningful conversation each day. Dream of writing a book? Write one paragraph every morning. Aspire to be a leader in your field? Spend 15 minutes daily studying those who've already achieved what you want. The size of the action doesn't matter nearly as much as the consistency of the practice. There's incredible power in this approach because it removes the pressure of perfection. You don't have to get it all done today. You just have to show up and do something, anything that moves you forward. Some days your something might be brilliant and inspired. Other days it might feel mechanical and ordinary. That's perfectly fine. What matters is that you maintained the rhythm. Because learning isn't about sporadic leaps. It's about the daily steps that eventually take you further than you ever imagined possible. So I challenge you to think differently about how change happens. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to begin your transformation. The perfect moment doesn't exist. Start exactly where you are with exactly what you have. Commit to those small, seemingly insignificant actions that most people overlook. Trust the process, stay consistent, and one day you'll look back in amazement at how far those tiny steps have carried you. That's how ordinary people achieve extraordinary things, not through luck or talent alone, but through the quiet power of daily, deliberate progress. One page, one lesson, one day at a time. Let me tell you a hard truth that might make you uncomfortable, but it's a truth you need to hear. Ignorance isn't just bliss. It's expensive. Every day you choose not to learn, not to grow, not to expand your understanding of the world, you're paying a price far greater than you realize. You're paying with missed opportunities, with poor decisions made from lack of knowledge, with years spent stuck in the same place while others move forward. That's the real cost of standing still in a world that never stops moving. Think about the last time you made a bad financial decision. Maybe you invested in something without fully understanding it, or missed out on a great opportunity because you didn't recognize its value at the time. Now multiply that across every area of your life, your career, your relationships, your health, your personal growth. Every gap in your knowledge creates potential for loss. But here's the flip side. Every piece of wisdom you gain becomes armor against life's uncertainties and fuel for your advancement. Consider how much more you could negotiate if you truly understood your worth in the marketplace. Imagine how many toxic relationships you might have avoided if you'd recognized the warning signs earlier. Picture how different your financial situation could be if you'd understood money management when you were younger. This isn't about regret, it's about revelation. It's about recognizing that knowledge isn't just power, it's protection. It's the difference between being at the mercy of circumstances and being the architect of your destiny. The world is full of people who want to take advantage of what you don't know. Corporations banking on your financial illiteracy. Scammers preying on your lack of awareness. Even well-meaning friends and family giving advice based on outdated information. When you commit to daily education, you build defenses against all of this. You develop the discernment to separate truth from manipulation, opportunity from exploitation. You start seeing patterns where others see chaos, solutions where others see dead ends. But here's what's even more powerful. When you break free from ignorance, you don't just stop losing, you start winning. You begin spotting opportunities others miss because your mind is trained to recognize them. You make better decisions faster because you've done the mental preparation. You attract better circumstances because you've become the kind of person who creates them. Knowledge doesn't just protect what you have, it multiplies what's possible. Think about the areas where you feel stuck right now. That frustration you're feeling, that's the cost of not knowing what you need to know to move forward. That anxiety about the future, that's the price of uncertainty. But here's the beautiful part. You can start changing that today. Not tomorrow, not someday, but right now. Every article you read, every expert you listen to, every skill you practice is another brick in the foundation of your future success. The most dangerous lie we tell ourselves is, I'll figure it out when I need to. By then, it's often too late. The time to learn about investments isn't when the market crashes, it's before. The time to study leadership isn't when you get promoted, it's now. The time to understand relationships isn't when yours is falling apart, it's today. Future you will either thank present you for the knowledge you're gaining now, or curse you for the knowledge you neglected to acquire. This isn't about becoming perfect or knowing everything. That's impossible. It's about committing to daily progress so that when life presents its challenges and opportunities, you're not caught unprepared. It's about recognizing that every day you choose to learn is a day you're choosing a better future. The cost of ignorance is always greater than the effort of education. Always. So ask yourself, what's your ignorance costing you right now? And more importantly, what are you going to do about it starting today? The answer to that question will determine more about your future than almost anything else, because in a world where knowledge is the ultimate currency, the educated will always inherit the advantages. The question is, will you be among them? Let's get brutally honest for a moment. No one is coming to rescue your potential. No fairy godmother will wave a wand and suddenly fill your mind with wisdom. No mentor will magically appear to force-feed you knowledge. The responsibility for your growth rests squarely on your shoulders. You are the CEO of your own mind, the architect of your intellect, and the gatekeeper of what you allow to shape your thinking. This isn't just empowerment, it's a sobering reality check. The quality of your life tomorrow is being determined by what you feed your mind today. Look around at our modern world. It's a battlefield for your attention. Social media algorithms are engineered to keep you scrolling. News outlets profit from your outrage. Entertainment platforms are designed to make you binge. Everywhere you turn, there are forces competing to colonize your mental real estate. And here's the uncomfortable question. Who's winning that battle in your life? Are you consciously curating what enters your mind, or are you letting the loudest voices dictate your thoughts? The difference between these two approaches doesn't just determine what you know, it determines who you become. Imagine your mind as the most valuable piece of real estate you'll ever own. Now ask yourself, are you building a library or a garbage dump? Every tweet you consume, every show you binge, every conversation you entertain, they're all either constructing or contaminating your mental landscape. The most successful people understand this at a bone-deep level. They guard their attention like Fort Knox because they know that what gets your attention gets you. They don't wait for inspiration to strike. They deliberately create environments where growth is inevitable. This is where most people get it backward. They think motivation leads to action, but the truth is action creates motivation. You don't need to feel like learning to start learning. The act of engaging with valuable content creates the hunger for more. Start with just 5 minutes of quality input, a thought-provoking article, an insightful podcast, a chapter of a transformative book, and watch how your mind begins craving more nourishment. It's like developing a taste for healthy food after years of junk. At first it might feel forced, but soon your very physiology rejects what doesn't serve you. The beautiful paradox is that when you take full ownership of your mental development, the entire universe conspires to help you. Books seem to jump off shelves at you. Conversations unexpectedly turn toward exactly what you needed to hear. Ideas connect in ways that feel almost magical. But this isn't magic. It's what happens when you become an active participant in your education rather than a passive consumer of whatever the world throws at you. Your reticular activating system, the mental filter that determines what you notice, starts highlighting opportunities for growth everywhere you look. Here's the challenge I'm giving you today. Conduct a ruthless audit of your mental inputs. What podcasts are in your queue? What books are on your nightstand? Who gets uninterrupted hours of your attention each week? Then ask the pivotal question. Is this making me better or just keeping me busy? Remember, you're not just consuming content, you're constructing a worldview. Every input is either moving you toward the person you want to become or anchoring you to the person you're trying to outgrow. The most powerful realization you can have is that no one else controls the trajectory of your growth. Not your boss, not your family, not your circumstances. The keys to your intellectual freedom have been in your hands all along. The question is, are you using them to unlock your potential, or have you been leaving them on the table while you wonder why the door won't open? Starting today, declare war on mental mediocrity. Be intentional, be disciplined, be relentless, because in the end, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your preparation. And that preparation happens daily through countless small decisions about what you allow to shape your mind. This is your wake-up call. This is your moment of reckoning. The classroom of life is always in session. The only question is whether you'll show up as the teacher's pet or the absentee who wonders why everyone else is moving ahead. The choice was never theirs to make. It was always yours. So what's it going to be? So I challenge you, starting today, make a promise to yourself. Educate yourself daily, even if it's just one new idea, one inspiring quote, one skill sharpened. Because when you know better, you do better, and when you do better, you live better. The greatest investment you'll ever make is in your own mind. So tell me, what will you learn today? Thank you.